Oh, you startled me. Welcome to the show. I am Vane, Gideon Vane, your humble host. I was just perusing this sad little book on the subject of ghosts. The Menace of Barclay Square, Chapter 12b, but more about this later. First, let me say, what a pleasure and a privilege it is for you to be seeing me making my debut on television. I could have been the greatest tragedian of my generation, but I threw it all away. Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. I betrayed Thespis for 30 pieces of silver nitrate. Oh, horrible! Oh, horrible! Most horrible! Alas, poor Gideon. I knew him, Mr. Selznick. Oh, I've been looking for this. It might amuse you. Here I am as a very young man in Dick Whittington in 1926. It was clear from the start that mine was no ordinary cat, and my friends all pleaded with me to take my talent overseas. So soon, I waved a last farewell to the boards and set sail for Hollywood. And here I am with my newfound pals, Blasco and Pratt, better known as Lugosi and Karloff. They loved my cat. Boris told me I was a right pussy. And here I am showing Bela how to checkmate Boris. And here I am showing Bela how to say his lines. Poor Bela, he wasn't very bright, you know. Never mastered English. Had to learn all of his lines phonetically. I used to call him a wop, and he thanked me. Now this is a revealing shot. I wanted to do Karloff's face with my Stanley knife, but he wouldn't hear of it. Oh, apparently, he'd never heard of method acting. And then came the film of the black cat. And the bastards stabbed me in the back after all I'd done for them. Somehow they persuaded Universal that my cat wasn't good enough. They went out and hired a real one. But I wasn't going to let a couple of third-raters stand in my way. Oh, no! Even they couldn't stop my meteoric rise. I soared on to greater and better things, playing a long list of title roles to spectacular public acclaim. Come, I'll show you my Hall of Fame. Here's me as Conga. I was 65 feet tall in that role. Of course, I had to wear platform heels. And here we are, one of the many famous Gideon Vane double bills. The Creature from the Black Lagoon and It. Of course, we had to shoot them on 2 separate days. And the Swamp Thing. Oh, that was a mucky part. I thought I looked a bit like my mother in that one. The one on the right, that is. The Demon and the Green Slime. Not to be confused with my agent. The list goes on and on. Alas, most of my straight roles were deemed far too horrific ever to be shown, including my Hamlet, my Mephistopheles, and my Bottom. But there is one small fragment rescued from the cutting room floor, a souvenir of more halcyon days. It might amuse you. That's enough. We'll cut it there. It gets a bit boring after that. I think it's about time we sank our teeth into the body of the show. There was a creature I always wanted to portray, but I could never find a writer equal to the task. You see, this monster was real, and its victims lived and died in London's fashionable West End. And now, due to the magic of television and a budget of £50, I am at last able to essay that part for your amusement. And as a special treat, I shall be taking most of the other roles as well, at no extra cost to the producers. But first, to set the scene, let us journey together to our location, Barclay Square.
Certain night, the night we met, there was magic abroad in the air. There were angels dining at the bricks, and a nightingale sang in Barclay Square. I may be right, I may be wrong, but I'm perfectly willing to swear that when you smiled at me, a nightingale sang in Barclay Square. The moon that lingered over London town, for puzzled moon, he wore a frown. How could he know we two were so in love? The whole darn world seemed upside down. The streets of town were paved with stars. It was such a romantic affair. And as we kissed and said goodnight, a nightingale sang in Barclay Square.
Of doom. Behind those walls, lurked a horror so appalling that men could not find a name for it. But women called it the nameless horror. It reaches out like a terrible taloned claw.
Oh, my God! It is you! That wonderful actor, Gideon Vane! Oh, hooray! Could you give me your autograph,
Yes,
please?
of course, my dear. Of course.
Oh, Mr. Vane, I can hardly believe it's really you. You're so fabulous. You're so much better than what's his name? Boris Lagasse or Peter Cushing? Here you go.
Yes, to whom should I dedicate it?
You know my name, Gideon. I'm your wife.
Yes, quite. There you are, my dear. It's been nice seeing you. Take care. Bye-bye. Alas, the price of fame. But at least I still have life. Unlike the hapless victims of the horror. Accounts of what happened here tend to differ over the details. But of one fact, they are all in certain agreement that between the years 1840 and 1880, the spectre that dwelt within those walls claimed no less than a dozen lives. I wonder who victim 12B will be. See here, a blue plaque tries to put us off the scent. George Canning, bloody communist. Whilst here we have, oh, how suitable, a large black plaque. Perhaps the redoubtable Maggs brothers can help us with our inquiries.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. I should like to speak to the proprietor of this establishment.
My name is Edward Maggs, sir, if I can help you.
Are you the proprietor?
Yes, indeed.
I am Gideon Vane.
Pleased to meet you.
How do you do? You've probably heard of me. I'm the greatest horror actor in the whole world.
Well, actually, I'm afraid not. I probably should have.
I'm surrounded by hippies. Now look, I read in this book the world's
Not
greatest...
a ghost again. But we haven't had a ghost here for about 150 years, thank you.
You haven't?
No, we are plagued by ghost hunters.
Right, well, get on with your business, then. I won't stop you.
If you don't mind, Mr. Vane.
Thank you. Nice to have met you. Hey, there you are. What further proof can you need? The list of deaths reads like a who's who of Victorian society. There was the Wiescoits lassie, tortured to death up there. And then there were the guests, found frozen with fear neath their beds. And then there was the maid, who died whimpering in a lunatic asylum. Whimpering! Don't let it touch me! Oh, for God's sake, don't let it touch me! Oh. And what of the mysterious Mr. Dupre, who kept his lunatic brother incarcerated in the basement? There can be no doubt that this place is haunted. Why, its frightful history makes the pavement quake beneath my very feet. Is it any wonder that pretty young Adeline Stevens hurled herself from the topmost window? See here, her blood still stains the railings on which she was impaled. This was no ordinary death plunge. Let the Maggs brothers of this world deny it if they can. But I'll wager that when we take this film to the laboratories to have it tested, that some form of ectoplasm, naked to the human eye, may yet reveal itself. Who knows? But one thing is for certain. This blood-hungry monster was no nightingale. is the very room in which the horror made its most spectacular appearance. You know, I feel rather like Ray Milland in The Uninvited. Let some air into this desolate place. And yet, it wasn't so desolate for two jolly Jack Tars one Christmas Eve back in 1887. For them, it proved a welcome retreat against the winter's cold.
Ah, Robert, me hearty. We've been walking since Portsmouth. It's well after closing time. We'll never find another place that's dry and warm on a cold night like this.
Ah, and deserted like this. Here, give me an hand with these here floorboards, and we'll soon have warmth and light ere long to draw the devil's cold out of these our weary bones. And so it was that the two sailors snuggled up together on this very bed. Robert Martin was soon snoring his head off, but his shipmate, Edward Blunden, was restless, and before long, Martin felt his shipmate's hand upon his own.
Wake up, me hearty, wake up! We're not alone.
They leapt out of bed, pulling on their uniforms, just in time to witness the approach of a hideous, hideous form that crept stealthily up the stairs and through the open door towards them. The athletic Martin sidled out unnoticed and ran screaming into the streets for help. But the luckless Blunden was left alone, trapped with the monster. It turned its inhuman gaze full upon him, forcing him back towards the window.
No, no, help, no, please, it's Christmas!
And like an echo far away, a nightingale sang in Barclay Square. I know 'cause I was there that night in Barclay Square.
Was I all right, dear boy?